OutSports creator's shocking admission of support for DeSantis. The LGBTQ plus community of Florida and across the country was in shock after learning that OutSports editor Sid Zeigler, the co-founder of OutSports, co-founder of National Gay Flag Football League, and the current writer at OutSports and SB Nation, announced via Twitter that he was joining the Republican Party and backing Ron DeSantis. After his post, Zeigler is under attack on Twitter now, of course. It's telling that the only prominent voice coming to his defense appears to be Trump lackey Richard Grenell, who is backing up his support for Zeigler by hyping a poll by Rasmussen, the unofficial pollster of Trump. Zeigler says on Twitter that he doesn't like Trump, but he misses the point entirely. Zeigler says on Twitter that he became a DeSantis Republican because, quote, this completely insane butchering of democracy and our justice system cannot stand. Progressives and Democrats seeking to use the government to attack political foes must be stopped, period, end quote. Zeigler also retweeted a post from DeSantis that partly says, quote, the weaponization of the legal system to advance a political agenda turns the rule of law on its head. It's un-American, end quote. But Zeigler makes no mention of DeSantis's weaponization of our community to advance his political agenda and his career. Wow. Take that all in. Okay. Like my first thought is, first of all, Zeigler, you should have kept that crap to yourself, bro, because that is just nuts for you to have said that to all the masses. Now, all those gay flag football players, you better quit. All right. You better grab your bola and your little jockstrap and go and kick rocks, because you cannot be a part of such an organization that is led by this idiot. Okay. I'll say that.
I'm not going to lie. I am so glad he came out with it. So glad, because now we know.
You're right.
Now we know,
And how do you call that un-American? I think it is perfectly American. If somebody has committed a crime and there's evidence, it goes to trial and you get treated just like anybody else. To call that un-American really just shows a political leaning.
And it also, for me, it shows a little underbelly of there's some cash floating around here. There's some dealings going on.
Trying to get,
there's
right?
Hello?
Yeah.
You're trying to get on the right side of capitalism with your, and that's what it screams. And the cognitive dissonance and the you have to have a lot of self-hate in order to sell yourself.
Totally.
Word.
He's terrible in bed.
If
you hate yourself that much, how are you going to love anybody else?
Yeah, you're right.
Let's say the good things first. OutSports has been in America and worldwide the top LGBT media source in the world for LGBT. They have done an outstanding job. Sid Zeigler has been behind that. He was the creative implementation of that. OutSports has been outstanding. Does he have the right to do this? He absolutely does. Should his free speech, either via OutSports or personally, be infringed in any possible way because he's reporter, editor, voicing support for DeSantis, and why others that reject DeSantis, does he earn the right to have that opinion? He absolutely does. Does he have the right to be 100% wrong? He absolutely is. It's shocking to me that Sid Zeigler has done this, and here's a couple of reasons why. First off, Ron DeSantis. Let's talk briefly about the record. I'm in all kinds of trouble with my stand-up rejection of Ron DeSantis over the last 2 years, especially last fall going into the midterm election, and lots of things of my opposition to Ron DeSantis. Governor DeSantis ran on a second-term platform that was based on seizing healthcare records at all of our universities to find out who was applying for gender-affirming, even therapy or conversation. He wanted to know everybody that was doing it in our colleges and universities. He has supported book bans of character assassination of LGBTQ community and suggested that there is no place to discuss Black history in the state of Florida, and why he so vividly and strongly says Florida is a place where woke comes to die. And the translation of woke comes to die is that we are not going to have any Black history because it's generated on queer theory. And that's how the Black community's history has been generated. Unbelievably inaccurate. He has supported Moms for Liberty to take over school boards in Florida to recraft a level of education on the local level in our school boards. And Moms for Liberty are the same ones that march and protest with Proud Boys. And DeSantis, in a secondhand way, associates with Proud Boys because of his association for Moms for Liberty. And when you support Ron DeSantis, that's what you're supporting. He has called for a complete elimination of trans healthcare in Florida. Complete elimination. The evisceration of the trans community if you remove healthcare options. There are no children in Florida that are being focused or forced in terms of surgery. There, almost without exception, everything that he has said about the trans community is a complete lie, almost unconditionally. And finally, drag queens. Now, whatever you think about what's going on in drag queens, Ron DeSantis and his cousin in Texas, Bud Abbott, have created a platform that has tried to suggest that for the first time in history, certainly since RuPaul in 1995, drag queens bad. And if we say drag queens groomers, drag queens stealing your children, if I say that enough, I don't have to focus on the fact that your home insurance has increased 100% in the last 5 years.
Literally doubled.
I don't have to talk about that if I go drag queens bad. They're grooming your children. Now, the impact of supporting Ron DeSantis is the president of Tampa Pride was going on the exact same day that you went to Palm Beach Pride last weekend. The president of Tampa Pride came on record. We reported it at Queer News Tonight that magnificent Pride Festival in Tampa may not happen again because we're so fearful of what is happening as it relates to drag queens and what is coming out of the governor's mansion.
Oh, yeah.
Tampa Pride is worried that they can't even do Pride again because of the governor of Florida. So Sid, let me connect the dots for you. Your support of this fascist governor we have in Florida is completely attacking even our ability to have pride. And that is exactly the words that came out of the president of Tampa Pride this week. The president of Tampa Pride's words, and Zeigler says, I'm all in for Ron DeSantis. You know, I heard this once before in my life. A student of history. I heard it about the Jews that voiced support in Berlin in 1939. It didn't work out too well for them. And Mr. Zeigler, I would suggest it's probably not going to work out very good for you, although you have a right to say it. And you have a First Amendment protection for OutSports to do it. But I have a friend that taught me a long time ago, there are even roaches for raid. And that's what you are. Congratulations. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.